Hey everyone, in this tutorial I'll show you step by step how to build a login and sign up page using Python and SQLite database. Let me give you a quick demo of how this project works. So if you are not entering any username or password and directly tries to sign up, it says all fields are required. Then if you are entering a username which already exists in the database and you try to sign up, it says username already exists. So you have to register with a unique username. And once you provide a unique username, then registration is successful. And once the registration is successful, this will slide to the right. And now you will be able to log in with the same username and password that you have used for registration. If you directly try to log in without entering the username and password, it says all fields are required. Now if you are entering the invalid username and some password, you will see invalid username error and you have 2 trials left. So after 2 trials you will not be able to log in. But if you are mentioning the correct username but some wrong password, it says invalid password and we have just 1 trial left. And again, if you mention invalid password, you can see that we have to wait for 60 seconds in order to log in back, and we also won't be able to sign up. So we'll see all these functionalities step by step from scratch, and as soon as this timer overs, these 2 buttons will be ready to use. So by the end of this tutorial you will have a fully functional login and sign up page that you can integrate into your own Python project. So before we start, make sure you hit that like button. I hope in your PC Python and PyCharm are already installed. So what you guys have to do, just open your PyCharm and then you have to go to this file. After that you have to select this new project, and here you need to provide the project folder name. It can be anything related to your project. So like login registration form. After that you have to select your base interpreter from here. So whichever interpreters you have, I have different Python versions here, like 3.10, 3.11, 3.6, 3.7. I can use any one of them. Okay, all will work fine for this project. So I'm gonna use the latest one, 3.11. okay, once you select your base interpreter, then simply click on this create button, and I want this project to open in a new window, so I'll select new window. So your project setup is getting ready. Now you have to create a Python file inside which you will write your Python code. So just right click on this folder, go to new and select Python file, and here you can provide the name of your Python file. It can be anything. I'll go with main. Okay, so this is your Python file where you will be writing your Python code. So firstly we will be creating this window. Okay, first thing first, we have to create this window. After that we will try to set the title, which you can see here, login and sign up page, and then the blue thing that you are seeing is nothing but a frame. Okay, and frame is simply a container. Okay, and inside that frame we have this login button and this sign up button. Okay, and on top of this frame we have another frame which you see, this white colored frame. Okay, and inside this frame we have this logo image at the top, then this label text, then these entry fields, and then this button. So all this that you are seeing on the screen is called widget. Okay, widget, widget. Okay, like this image, this label, this entry field, this button, all this is a widget. Okay, so let's firstly create a window. In order to create the GUI window, we have to import one module. Okay, and that module we have to install. Okay, because it's an external module, and which will simply give a beautiful look to our GUI. Okay, so you have to go to your terminal, and there you need to type pip install custom tkinter like this and hit enter. So once this module is installed, we have to import it in our code. So how do we import it? We'll write from custom tkinter import asterisk. What this line means? This line means that we are importing all the classes and the methods which are present inside this custom tkinter module. So custom tkinter module is basically a file where we have lots of classes and methods present for us, and we just have to use those methods and classes in order to create our graphical user interface GUI. Okay, so you can add a comment here. Okay, so I have added the comment at the top for this line. That this line means that we are importing all the classes and methods which are present in custom tkinter module, or you can call it a library. I'm minimizing it so that you can see the complete screen here. Okay, so we have imported this module, and now we can access the classes of this module. So in order to create a window, so this is a comment, and as I told you, you can add anything as a comment by pressing Ctrl and /. Okay, in Python. So we have to create a window. So in order to create a window, we have to use ctk class of this custom tkinter module. So we have this ctk class, and we just have to create object of this class. So we are using the class name, and we'll assign it to some variable like window. Okay, so this is how you create object of any class in Python. You write the class name and you assign it to a variable. Next, after creating the object of the class, if you run at this stage, you can see that we did not get any error, and process finished with exit code 0. So it means there is no error and the code successfully ended. So since this code executed very fast, so we were not able to see the screen. Okay, our eyes were not able to see the screen, our GUI window, right? So in order to see that window continuously on the screen, we have one method inside the CTK class, and that method is known as main loop. And as you know, we can access any method of any class with the help of object variable. So we'll write here window, which is an object variable, dot, and then we can use any method of the CTK class. Okay, so we have to use this main loop method. So this main loop method will simply keep our window on a loop so that we can see it continuously on the screen. And now if you try to run it again, you can see we got a window, right? And this is the by default size of our window. You can drag it, you can maximize it, and by default you can see the title is CTK, but we have to change it. So now in order to change the title, we again have one method inside the CTK class which is known as title. So we have to access that method with the help of this window object. So we'll write window dot title method. Okay, so how, I hope you are getting it. You can assume the CTK as a collection of functions. Inside this class we have a collection of functions, and now the owner of this collection of functions is this window variable. Okay, so you can access all the functions only with the help of this owner, right, window in this case. So we are accessing our first function which is title, which helps in setting the title to our window, and then we are accessing this main loop method which helps in viewing our window continuously on the screen. So to this title method we have to pass the title in the form of a string. So title will be login and sign up page, like this. Now if you run it, so since the window size is small, so you cannot see the title, you can either maximize it or drag it to the right. So you can see login and sign up page title is set. After that, every time you will run this window, you will see this window at different positions from the X and the Y axis. So right now you can see this is at this place, right? If I run it again, you can see it has moved to this position, right? So what we have to do, we have to fix the distance of this window from the X and the Y direction. Okay, so for that we have one method. So we'll access this with the help of this window variable. So write window dot wm underscore geometry. Okay, and here we have to pass the distance from the x-axis and the distance from the y-axis of our window. So this is how you have to write: plus 100, this is the distance from the x-axis, and plus 100, this is the distance from the y-axis. So now if I run it, you can see this is the 100 distance from the x-axis and 100 distance from the y-axis. Okay, now every time you will run this program, you will see the window at this position only. So window position is now fixed. You can increase or decrease this value according to your own choice. Okay, so if you'll increase the x value, you will see this going this way. So I'll keep it to 100 only. Now after this, let me see in our original project what we have to create. So after this, we have to create this blue frame, right? As I told you, it's a container inside which we add different things, different widgets, and widgets are like buttons, labels, images, entry fields. Okay, so let's create a frame inside our window. So how do we create a frame? For creating a frame, we have a class inside this module. Okay, first class that we used is this CTK, which is helping in creating our window, and then we have used this main loop method, which helped in viewing our window, right, to display our window. Okay, and anything that you are writing after this window.main loop, that code will not be executed. For example, if I simply add a print statement here and enter my name and I run this code, so you can see this print statement is not working here. Okay, because what is happening, this main loop method is simply keeping all this code on a loop. So this code is continuously running again and again. Okay, so the interpreter is not going to line number 10. Okay, it is continuously moving from line number 5 to line number 9 only. But as soon as you close this window, as soon as this main loop stops working, this print statement will work. So once I close it, you can see now the print statement worked. Okay, I hope this is clear. So if you are writing anything after this, that won't be working. I hope this is clear. So we were about to create a frame, right? So as I told you, we have a class inside this module. So the class name is CTK frame. So you can see when you are writing CTK, you are getting a lot of suggestions. So this is the benefit of using IDE PyCharm. Okay, so CTK frame, this helps in creating a frame. Now where you want to see this frame, first of all you have to mention that thing. So we want to see this frame on our window, right? So we'll pass window here, and after this I want to set the the color which you were seeing, the blue color, right? We want to set that color of our frame. So we'll use this fg color argument. Fg color is nothing but the frame color. Okay, so frame color that I want to keep here is blue 4. So from where I got this color name? So you can simply go to Google and here you can type for Tkinter colors, and from here you can open any one of these images or you can download these images. You can simply zoom in. Okay, so here you can see the different colors that you can use while creating the GUI. Okay, so these are all the colors that you can use. So it's up to you which color you choose. So from here, if you see, this is blue 4 color that I have used, blue 4. Okay, I hope this is clear. So you can save this image. Okay, so now if I'll run it, you can't see the frame. Why is that? This is because we have two steps. First step is to create a frame, and then the next step is to place the frame on our window. So where you want to see this frame? Okay, at the top, at the bottom, on the left, on the right, or at some particular position, where do you want to see this frame? So we have to position this frame. Okay, so for positioning the frame, we have one method inside the CTK frame class. Okay, actually there are three methods to position anything, so I'll tell you those, but in order to use those methods we have to create object of it. So the object name will be mainframe. Okay, so I hope you understood why we are creating the object. We are creating the object so this mainframe will become the owner of all the methods which are present inside this class. Methods are nothing but the functions. Okay, so here we'll use this, and there is a method. So actually there are three methods. One is this pack. Okay, if I use this pack, so you can see we are getting this blue colored frame here on a screen. Okay, so and the another method is this grid. This grid method will divide our window in rows and columns. Okay, so inside this grid method we have to mention the row number and the column number, and since this mainframe is the first thing we are adding on our window, so that's why row value is 0 and column value is 0. So if I run it, still you will see the same result. Okay, then there is one more method which is known as place. This is also helps in placing something on our window, and here we need to pass the x and the y coordinate values. So if I'm passing x0 and y0, so you will see it from the starting of the window from here, right? This is x0 y0, this position. But if you want to move it to some different position, you can increase or decrease x and y values. So you'll see you can see the frame at 50 distance from the x-axis. Okay, so what's the difference between these three: place, pack and grid? Let me show you. Pack, place and grid in Tkinter. You can go to this image section, and here you can see the difference. Yeah, this image is fine. Okay, so if you see, in case of pack, everything is packed either vertically or horizontally. If it is a simple GUI, then we can simply use the pack method. In case of grid, everything is seen in the form of rows and columns. So if you are mentioning row 0 column 0, so this block is coming at this position, and when you are mentioning row 0 column 1, then this is appearing at this position. Similarly, when you are mentioning row 1 column 1, this is appearing at this position, and so on. Okay, and in case of place, you can put it widgets at any position, okay, using coordinates. So you have to mention the x and the y values, like you can mention x equals to 590, y equals to 300, so it will go to that particular position. So when you have to add anything at particular positions, we will use this place method. When we have to add things in the form of a grid where we have rows and columns, then we'll use grid method. And if we have less complex GUI where we have 2 to 3 things and they are packed one after the other, then we'll use this pack method. I hope this is clear. Like for example, if I show you this calculator project, here you can see this is in the form of rows and columns. So here I have used a grid method, okay, where this is at row 0 column 0, this is at row 0 column 1, this is at row 0 column 2, and so on. Then this is at row 1 column 0, and so on. I hope this is clear. So I'm going to use a grid method here, and it's up to you. You can use any method at least for placing this frame. Okay, so I'll mention row value as 0, column value as 0. I hope you are understanding why row 0 column 0, because this is the first thing we are adding on our screen. Okay, like this. After that, we'll have to add some width and a height to this frame, okay, because this is in smaller size, right? So to this frame class, we'll mention the width and the height of our frame. So width that I have used in my original project is 600, and the height that I have used is 400. But you can increase or decrease these values according to your choice, okay, whatever you like. So you can see the frame size is increased, okay. This is 600 width and this is 400 height. If you want, you can make it 1000 or here 600. So the size will simply increase like this. So it's up to you if you want to keep it smaller or bigger in size. Okay, so this is done. Now what else? Let me again run my original project. You can see this white thing, okay, this is the padding, okay, horizontal spacing and vertical spacing, okay. So this white thing that you are seeing is nothing but a part of our window, okay. This is a window only, and on that window we have added this frame, right? So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to provide padding. So padding is provided to this grid method. So here I'll mention padx. Padx means horizontal spacing of 30 pixels, and then pad y, which is nothing but the vertical spacing, that also I'll give as 30 pixels, like this. Okay, so 30 from this side, 30 from this side, similarly 30 from this side, and 30 from this side. Okay, so once you have created the main frame, next we have to create this button at this position, okay. Since this is a particular position, so I hope you must be understanding that here we will use the place method to place this button at this position, okay, because this is a particular position. So let's create a button, and again for creating a button we have a class inside this module, so we can use that class. So the class name is ctk button, okay. Now where you want to see this button, I want to see this button inside this main frame, right? So I'll pass main frame here, sorry, main frame, okay. Then what will be the text on this button? So the text will be login, right? And let's simply place this button. And in order to place, we have to create object of this class. So we'll name it login button. Okay. And now we can place this with the help of this login button variable. So login button dot place method. I hope you understood why we are using place method instead of grid or path, because we have to place it at a particular position. So the x value that I have used in my original project is 430 and y value is 300. Okay, so I'm using the exact same values so that we can get the same result. Okay, you can decrease and increase these values to check like where they are appearing. Okay, if you want to just simply play along with these values. So when you will give that values, you will see the button here at this position. Okay, so x value is 430 and y value is 300. Now next thing what we have to do, we have to set the background color. The color of the button that you are seeing is matching with the color of this frame, right? So we'll set that. After that, the text color which you are seeing is white in color. Okay, and then when we are hovering on this button, it is changing to the different shade of blue color, right, which is known as blue 2. Okay, so we'll see this, and you can also see a border color, right? So we'll see these changes. So here to this button class, we'll mention the button color. Button color is represented with this fg underscore color argument, and here you have to mention the color name. So as I told you, the color name of the color of the button is same as that of our mainframe. So we can simply add this color, but you can add different color. It's up to you. Okay, so as you can see, it is changed to the same color as that of our window. Next thing, this text is looking very small in size, right? So we need to fix its font. So here I'll mention the font for this text, and font is mentioned in the form of a tuple, okay, in parenthesis. First thing that you have to add here is the style. So style that I am going to use is Arial. Then you have to mention the size of the text. So the size that I have used in my original project is 20 pixels, and then I'll make the text as bold. Okay, so these three properties you have to mention here. So this is the font for this login text. Yeah, so you can see the size is increased and font style is changed. Okay, after that I have to set the border of this button. So for that, we again have one argument which is known as border color, and border color will be blue 2. This is again another color as I showed you in that pic. From there you can choose the colors of your choice. Okay, so blue 2 is this color, okay, that I have used. Okay, but if you'll run this, see, you are not able to see the border color. This is because the border width is set to 0 by default. Okay, but we have to change it. So we'll mention border width equals to 1. By default it is set to 0, but we'll change it to 1 in order to see it. Now if I run it, you can see we got the border, right? So by default the hover color that you are seeing is this color. Okay, we'll change it to blue 2. So we'll mention here, or let me just move it to a new line so that it's visible to you. From here I'll move it to a new line, and here I'll mention the hover color. So when you will bring your mouse pointer on this button, this will be the color that you will see. So hover color will be blue 2. So when I'm bringing my mouse pointer on this button, you can see the blue 2 color, right? And also I want when I bring my mouse pointer on this button, it should change to hand symbol. So for that we have one argument which is known as cursor, and its value will be hand 2. Okay, so in order to see the hand symbol when you bring your mouse pointer on this button, you have to mention cursor equals to hand 2, like this. Now you can see the hand 2 symbol. Okay, I hope this is clear. So you can simply go to Google and read more about this custom tkinter, so that you will get more idea how to use it and what other things you can add to buttons or frames. Okay, so you can simply type a custom tkinter and you can go to this Git repository or this PyPy website. It's up to you. So if I go to this PyPy website here, so here you can read more about it, what things you can add, okay, what themes you can apply, CTK frames, how to use CTK frames and everything, CTK button, how to use the CTK button, what things you can add like height, width to the button. You can also add these two parameters if you want to your button. Okay, and similarly to labels we have not yet created, and similarly entry fields we have not yet created. So you can simply refer this for better understanding of how to use all these things. Okay, you can visit this Git repository here. So our login button is created. Just like we have created our login button, in the same way we have to create the sign up button, but it will be placed at this position here. Okay, so what we can do, we can simply copy this login button and we can paste here, and this will be renamed to sign up button. And how to place multiple cursors in PyCharm, you have to press the Alt key and mouse left button in order to place multiple cursors at the same time, and you can do the changes at the same time at every places. Okay, the text will change here, it will become sign up. Then where we have to place it, so this x and y values will differ here. So y value will remain same. Why? Because we have to keep it at the same height. Let me show you the original one. So if you see, this login button and this sign up button is at the same height, right? So we'll have to keep it at 300 only. But what will be the x value? X value will be 30, because we have to keep it at the starting position here. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now we have to create a top frame. So this is nothing but a top frame. Okay, and inside this top frame we have added this logo image, the sign up text, and then these entry fields, and then this sign up button. So after this sign up button, we'll create a top frame, and as you know, frame is created with the help of frame class, right? CTK frame class. So we'll use that. Where should I add this frame? Should we add this frame inside this main frame, or should we add this on our window? It will be added on the window, correct? Because as you can see here that this main frame, top frame is not a part of this, is not inside this main frame, right? It is outside this main frame. So that's why we have to add this on our window. So we'll pass window here. Next thing will be the window color, I mean frame color. So frame color will be white, and then I will set some width and the height of our frame. Okay, and before setting that, let me firstly place it. So I'll write topframe dot place method. And again, why I'm using the place method? Because this top frame is placed at a particular distance, right, from the x and the y axis at a particular position. So the x value will be 50 and y value will be 10. If I run it, so you can see that this is the distance from the x-axis 50 and this is the distance 10 from the y-axis. Okay, and this is how the frame looks like. So by default the width and the height of the frame is this much only, but we have to change it. So to this CTK frame will mention the width 350 and the height will be 470. Now if I run it, we'll have to decrease some width here and also the height. Let's keep it to 400. Let's decrease it to 300. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, but right now if you see, if I click on this login button, this frame is not moving on to this side, right? This is because you have not added any functionality to this login button. Firstly, let's create everything that we are seeing on this top frame in our original project. What things we are seeing? We are seeing firstly this logo image, okay, then this sign up label, and on this label we have this sign up text. Firstly, let's create these two things. So from where you will get the logo image? You have to go to Google and here you can search for this website flaticon.com. Okay, flaticon.com. Here you can search for login or sign up, anything. You will be getting a lot of images here. Whichever you like, you can download from here, like this one or this one. So this is the one that I have downloaded from here. So you can simply go here and select the size of the image. I have downloaded 128 pixel image. So you can simply select the size and then click on this free download. Once you click on the download button, the image will be downloaded. Then you can simply copy this image, Control C, and paste it in the same folder where your Python file is. So right click, or you can simply Control V, and here you can provide the name of the image, make it logo.png, like this. Okay, so this is the logo.png that we will be using here. Now in order to add this image on our window, we have to firstly create a label. Okay, and on that label we can add this image. So we cannot add this image directly on our window. We have to firstly create a label and then on that label we will add this image. Okay, and same thing happens for the text also. So you cannot directly add the text on your window. In order to add the text, firstly create a label and on that label you can provide the text. I hope this is clear. Next thing, you cannot directly use this image here. You have to create object of this image in order to use it. You have to import this image in our code in order to use it. So how do we do that? We'll have to use this CTK image class, which will help in importing this image from here in our code. Okay, and here we have to pass this parameter light image and the image name, which is logo.png, and you cannot directly mention the image name here. You cannot directly mention the image name here. Okay, so how do we mention the image name? For that we have to install one more external module which is known as pillow. So go to your terminal and here you need to type pip install pillow and hit enter. Okay, so once this pillow module is installed, you can simply go at the top and import image class of this pillow module only. So we'll write from pil import image. Okay, this image class we have to import. This image class will help in opening our image in this code. So we'll have to write image, the class we just imported, dot open method of this class, and to this open method we have to pass this image name like this. So this image class is simply helping in opening this image. Okay, and ctk image class is helping in creating object of this image, and we'll name it logo image. So now this image is represented by this variable logo image. I hope this is clear. So this is how you create object of the image. As I already told you that we cannot directly add the image in our code. We have to create a label, and on that label we can add this image. So we'll name it logo label, and the label is created with the help of ctk label class. Okay, just like we have class for creating a frame, class for creating a button, class for creating a window. In the same way, for creating a label we have a class. Where we have all these classes? Inside this module, inside this package custom tkinter. Where you want to see this logo label, we have to add this inside our top frame, right? We have to add this inside our top frame. Then on this label we want to add the image, right? So we'll add image and the name of the image. Name of the image is logo image, so we'll pass logo image here. As I told you, this image is now represented with this variable, so we'll pass this variable here. Okay, and if you run at this stage, again you will not be able to see the logo image. The reason is that you have just created the label, but you forgot to place it on the screen, right? And this time, as you can see this original project, everything is in the form of rows and columns. If you notice here, this logo image is at row 0 column 0, this sign up label is at row 1 column 0, then this is at row 2 column 0, this is at row 3 column 0, this is at row 4 column 0, right? So everything is in the form of a grid. So here grid will be easy to use. So this image is the first thing we are adding on this top frame, right? So it will be at row 0 column 0. Now if I run it, you can see that we got the image here. Okay, but it's of very small size. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna increase the size of the image. Okay, so here we can mention the size. Inside this ctk image we can mention the size in the form of parenthesis. Okay, like 20,20 or any other size whichever you like. So since our image is of 128 cross 128, so we'll mention 128 cross 128. Now if you run it, you can see the size is increased. Okay, and on this image you can see this text which is ctk label. Okay, this is the by default text that you see on the label. So in order to remove this text, what you can do on this, inside this label, you can mention the text as empty, null. Okay, as I said, by default you get that you are getting that text, but if you are making the text as null, so now you will not see that text. Okay, and the next thing is once you will start adding things inside this top frame, its size will automatically increase. Okay, next what we have to create, we have to create this sign up label. Okay, as I told you, just like we create this logo label, in the same way we will have to create this sign up label, and instead of image this time we will add the text. So sign up label will also be created in the similar way. So I can copy this and I can paste here, and I'll give a different variable name here. This will be sign up label, or you can call it heading label. Okay, and we don't have to add any image this time, so we'll remove the image here, but we have to add the text, and the text will be sign up. And then instead of row 0, this time the row will become 1, but the column will still be 0. So you can see this sign up label is appearing at row 1 because this is at row 0, right? And you can also notice the frame size is getting increased when you are adding things inside it. So this text size is very small. We have to set the font for this text. So font we have already set earlier, this one, Arial 20 and bold. So we can copy the same font here and we can paste here. Okay, here the text size I'll change to 30. Yeah, this is fine. After this, the text color here you see it's of black color by default. We'll change it to blue 4. So here I'll mention FG color, which is the text color, and I'll change it to blue 4. Sorry, not the FG color. Oh, sorry, we have to set the text color, right? Not the label color. So this is the label color that I have set by mistake. We have to set the text color. So we'll mention text color and the color name will be blue 4. Yeah, like this. And you can see that we don't have any padding here, right? So I have to provide some padding at the top. So we have this logo label, and at the top I have to provide pad y. So in order to just provide padding at the top and not at the bottom, you have to pass the value in parentheses. So here I am providing 20 padding from the top, but I don't want any padding from the bottom, so I'm mentioning 0 here. Okay, now if I run it, you can see we got the padding from the top, but there is no padding at the bottom. Similarly, we have this heading label. Here also we will have to do the same thing, that I want top padding of 20 pixels, but I don't want any bottom padding. It will be pad y, not just pad. Actually, this logo image is bigger in size. I will reduce it to 80 pixels, comma 80 pixels. Yeah, this is better. And after this, if you see, we have to create this entry field where the user will type their username. Okay, and in the same way we'll have to create this password field, okay, which is also an entry field. So in order to create the entry field, we have a class which is known as ctk entry. Okay, and this entry field also has to be inside the top frame. And we'll give it some name like user name entry. Okay, and then I'll simply grid it. So I'll write username entry dot grid, and row value will be 2 and column will be 0. Okay, because at row 1 we already have this label sign up, right? So at row 2 we'll create this entry field, right? So this is how this is looking at this time. We'll change the font for this text. So font style will be Arial only. The size of the text I'll change to 20 and I'll make the text as bold. Okay, so this will be the font. All right. Okay, so next we have to increase the width of this entry field and we'll increase the height also. So here we'll set the width to 200 and the height will be 30. Okay, you can increase or decrease these values according to your own choice. Okay, after that I'll also add the placeholder text. Placeholder text is this text that you are seeing, username and this password. Okay, so when you'll click here, that text will be automatically deleted. So that is known as placeholder text. So here we'll mention placeholder text and the text will be username, like this. And now we can provide some horizontal padding, okay, horizontal spacing on the left and the right hand side, and some vertical padding to this entry field. So here I'll firstly add horizontal padding, so it will be 20 pixels, and then I will add the vertical padding. From the top I'll add 30 pixels and from the bottom I'll add 20 pixels. So this is how it will look. From the top 30 pixels and from the bottom it is 20 pixels. Okay, and this is 20 from left and the right. So in the same way we will be creating our password entry field. So I'll copy this and I'll paste here. So this will be password entry. Okay, this font, width, height, placeholder, sorry, till here everything will be same, all these things will be same. The placeholder text will be changed to password instead of username, and then we'll change the row value to 3, like this. And I'll remove the top padding, this 30 I'll make it to 0, like this. This is done. Next we have to create this sign up button. Okay, and it will be created in the similar way, just like we created this login button. So we'll write, we'll give it a name inner button. Okay, because this is inside button, and it will be created with the help of ctk button class only. This button has to be inside our top frame, right? and then we will simply grade it. So we'll write inner button dot grade method, row value will be 4 and column will be 0. So here we are seeing this button. So by default the text on this button is CTK button, but we'll change it to login. So here we'll mention the text as login. Oh sorry, it won't be login, it will be sign up, right? Sign up. After that we'll change the button color to blue 2. So button color is represented with this argument and the color name is blue 2, like this. And then we'll set the font for this text. So it will be the same font. So we'll copy it and here we'll paste like this. And I want to change the hover color. Hover color will be blue 4. So I'll move to a new line and here I'll mention hover color equals to blue 4, like this. Okay, and again you can change the cursor to hand to. So when you will bring your mouse pointer on this button, it will change to hand symbol. Okay, then I'll provide padding. So here to this grid method I'll provide pad y equals to 20. So 20 from the top and 20 from the bottom, like this. We'll keep it to this much only for now,